the sun shine. Let the sun shine. The sun shining. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shining. The sun shining. Let the sun shine. Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. Oh, you caught me singing. It was a sunny day. You caught. Hi, Guy, Gillian, and Russell. Some regulars. Nice. Love regulars. Let the sun. It's such a sunny day. Steve. Hello. Steve down in Bournemouth. Oh, I hope. Did you get to go in the sea, Steve? Did you get to go down to the beach? Oh, thank you, Russell. He says it's a cool bandana. Well, it was so hot that my scarf wasn't working for me. You know, it's a scarf. It's 26 degrees. Hi, Anna. So I thought, let's make a bandana because that will stop me from sweating. Ah, that's right. That's nice. So, are we all having a nice bank holiday? Anybody having a Barbie? No? No. I'd like to have a Barbie, but we can't because the landlord would get upset because we'd have to do it in the carpet here. Not good. Health and safety and stuff. Andy! Hi, Andy! Oh, lovely. Andy King and Matt King watching down in Sunbury-on-Thames. Hi, Cara. Yeah, we did have a lovely day. We had a lovely day. We actually got out and about, had a bit of a walk, had a bit of a potter. How are you, Cara? Are you having a nice? Did you have a nice day? What did you do? Did you have strawberry milkshake? That's what I did. I had strawberry milkshake. I had tons of it. My tummy hurts a bit now. Yeah. Russell says, I hope you're wearing underwear. I'm an armadillo, Russell. Armadillos don't wear underwear. That would be weird. We only wear scarves and bandanas. Yeah, that would be odd. And it wouldn't work with me, with Michelle. You see, look at Michelle at the back. No, it's not going to work. So today's National Tap Dancing Day today. But as I've been wandering around a bit, my feet are quite sore and burny. So I can't do any tap dancing. But by all means, tap dance throughout the entire story. Your mums and dads would love it if you did that. Cara played in the pool and on a skateboard ramp. Wow, nice, cool pool. That's great. Oh, I'm very jealous. Skateboard ramp, don't think I could do that. I think I'm a bit small. It'd be like a surfboard for me, I think. So a couple of shout-outs then. For those of you who are watching, a big shout-out to Church. Mwah! Hiya, Church. How are you? And a big shout-out to Kelly Pretty. If you're watching, Kelly, it was her birthday yesterday. So happy birthday. I believe that you were... well, let's just say 21, shall we? Yeah, you're 21. So, big shout-outs and love to you guys. Right. So we've got quite a long story tonight. Well, it's a long short story, which is a bit weird, but stick with. This is chapter 3 of A.A.Milne's House at Pooh Corner. So, settle down, get yourself comfy, get yourself a cool drink tonight. I would not suggest Cocoa at this point. And this is called Chapter 3, in which a search is organised and Piglet nearly meets the Heffalump again. Here goes. Pooh was sitting in his house one day, counting pots of honey, when there came a knock at the door. 14, said Pooh. Come in. 14. Or was it 15? Oh, bother, I've got all muddled up. Hello, Pooh, said Rabbit. Hello, Rabbit. 14, wasn't it? What was? My pots of honey. I was counting. 14, that's right. Are you sure? No, said Rabbit. Does it matter? "I'd just like to know," said Pooh humbly. "So, as I can say to myself, I've got 14 pots of honey left. Or 15, as the case may be. It's sort of comforting." "Well, let's call it 16, said Rabbit. "Look, what I came to say was, have you seen Small anywhere?" "I don't think so," said Pooh. And then after thinking a little bit more, he said, "Who is Small?" "One of my friends and relations," said Rabbit carelessly. This didn't help Pooh much because Rabbit had so many friends and relations and of all sorts of shapes and sizes that he didn't know if he ought to be looking for Small at the top of an oak tree or the petal of a buttercup. "I haven't seen anybody all day," said Pooh. Not so as to say, "Hello, Small," too. "Did you want him for anything?" "I don't want him," said Rabbit, "but it's always useful to know where a friend and relations is, whether you want to or whether you don't." "Oh, I see," said Pooh. "Is he lost?" "Well," said Rabbit, "nobody has seen him for a long time, so I suppose he is. Anyhow," he went on importantly, "I promised Christopher Robin I'd organise a search for him, so come on." Pooh said goodbye affectionately to his 14 pots of honey and hoped that there were 15, and he and Rabbit went on into the forest. "Now," said Rabbit, "this is a search and I've organised it." "Done what to it?" said Pooh. "Organised it. Hello, Peter." Which means, well, it's what you do to a search when you don't all look in the same place at once. And I want you, Pooh, to search at the 6 pine trees first, then work your way towards Owl's house. And look out for me there. Do you see? "No," said Pooh. "What?" "Then I'll see you at Pooh's house in about an hour's time." "Is Piglet organised too?" "We all are," said Rabbit, and off he went. As soon as Rabbit was out of sight, Pooh remembered that he had forgotten to ask who Small was, and whether he was the sort of friend and relation who settled on one's nose, or the sort who got trodden on by mistake. But as it was now too late, he thought he would begin the hunt by looking for Piglet and asking him what they were looking for before they looked for it. "And it's no good looking at the 6 pines for Piglet," said Pooh to himself, "because he's been organised in a special place of his own. So I shall have to look for the special place first. I wonder where it is." And he wrote it down in his head like this: Order for things. Order for looking at things. 1. Special place to find Piglet. 2. Piglet to find who Small is. 3. Small to find Small. 4. Rabbit to tell him I found Small. 5. Small again to tell him I found Rabbit. That makes looking like it. That looks like a bothering sort of day, thought Pooh as he stumbled along. And the next moment the day became very bothering indeed, because Pooh was so busy not looking where he was going that he stepped on a piece of the forest which had been left out by mistake. And he'd only just got time to think to himself, "I'm flying. What Owl does? I wonder how to stop." Then he stopped. Boom! "Ow!" squeaked something. "That's funny," thought Pooh. "I said ow without really oohing." "Help!" said a small, high voice. "That's me again," thought Pooh. "I've had an accident and I've fallen down a well and my voice has gone all squeaky and works before I'm ready for it because I've done something to myself inside and, oh, bother. Help! Help! There you are. I say things when I'm not trying. Oh, it must be a very bad accident." And then he thought that perhaps when he did try to say things, he wouldn't be able to. So just to make sure, he said loudly, "A very bad accident to Pooh Bear." "Pooh!" squeaked the voice. It's Piglet, cried Pooh eagerly. Where are you? Underneath, said Piglet in an underneath sort of way. Underneath what? You, squeaked Piglet. Get up! Oh, said Pooh, and scrambled up as quickly as he could. Oh, did I fall on you, Piglet? You fell on me, said Piglet, feeling himself all over. I didn't mean to, said Pooh sorrowfully. And I didn't mean to be underneath, said Piglet sadly. But I'm all right now, Pooh, and I'm so glad it was you. What's happened? Said Pooh. Where are we? I think we're in a sort of pit. I was walking along looking for somebody, then suddenly I wasn't anymore, and just when I got up to see where I was, something fell on me. And it was you. So it was, said Pooh. Yes, said Piglet. Pooh, he went on nervously and came a little closer. Do you think we're in a trap? Pooh hadn't thought about it at all, but now he nodded. For suddenly he remembered how he and Piglet had once made a Pooh trap for Heffalumps, and he guessed what had happened. He and Piglet had fallen down into a Heffalump trap for Poohs. That's what it was. What happens when the Heffalump comes? Said Piglet, trembling when he heard the news. Perhaps he won't notice you, Piglet, said Pooh encouragingly, because you're a very small animal. But he'll notice you, Pooh. He'll notice me, and I'll notice him, said Pooh, thinking out loud. We'll notice each other for a long time, and then he'll say, ho-ho! Piglet shivered a little at the thought of that ho-ho, and his ears began to twitch. What will you say? He asked. Pooh tried to think of something he would say, but the more he thought, the more he felt that there is no real answer to ho-ho, said by a Heffalump in the sort of voice the Heffalump was going to say it in. I shan't say anything at all, said Pooh at last. I shall just hum to myself as if I was waiting for something. Then perhaps he'll say, ho-ho, again, suggested Piglet anxiously. He will, said Pooh. Piglet's ears twitched so quickly that he had to lean them against the side of the trap to keep them quiet. He will say it again, said Pooh, and I shall go on humming, and that will upset him. Because when you say ho-ho twice in a gloating sort of way, and the other person only hums, you suddenly find, just as you're about to say it for the third time, that, well, you find... What? Well, that it isn't, said Pooh. Isn't what? Said Piglet. Pooh knew what he meant, but being a bear of very little brain, he just couldn't think of the words. Well, it just isn't, he said again. You mean it isn't ho-ho-ish anymore? Said Piglet hopefully. Pooh looked at him admiringly and said that was exactly what it meant. If you went on humming all the time because you couldn't go on saying ho-ho forever. But he'll say something else, said Piglet. And that's just it. He'll say, what's all this? Then I shall say, and this is a very good idea, Piglet, because I've only just thought of it. I shall say, it's a trap for a Heffalump which I've made, and I'm waiting for the Heffalump to fall in. And I shall go on humming, and that will unsettle him. Pooh! Cried Piglet, and now it was his turn to have the admiring one. You saved us! Have I? Said Pooh, not feeling quite sure. But Piglet was quite sure, and his mind ran on a bit, and he saw Pooh and the Heffalump talking to each other, and he thought suddenly, and a little sadly, what it would be rather nice if it had been Piglet and the Heffalump talking so grandly to each other, and not Pooh, much as he loved Pooh, because he really didn't, he had more brain than Pooh. And the conversation would go better if he, and not Pooh, were doing one side of it. And it would be comforting afterwards in the evening. Look back on the day when he had answered an Oh, quick disconnect. I'll go back in case you missed it, guys. Where are we? And it would be very comforting afterwards in the evenings to look back on the day when he had answered a Heffalump as bravely as if the Heffalump wasn't there. It seemed so easy now. He knew exactly what it would say, and it went something like this. Heffalump, gloatingly. Ho ho! Piglet, carelessly. Tra-la-la-la-la-la. Heffalump, surprised and not quite sure of himself. Ho ho! Piglet, more carelessly still. Tiddle-a-dum, tiddle-a-dum, tiddle-a-dum. Heffalump, beginning to say ho ho and turning it rather awkwardly into a cough. What's all this? Piglet, surprised. Oh, that's surprised. Oh, hello. This is a trap I've made and I'm waiting for a Heffalump to fall in. Heffalump, greatly disappointed. Oh, after a long silence. Are you sure? Piglet, yes. Heffalump, nervously. Oh, I thought it was a trap I'd made to catch piglets. Piglet, surprised. Oh, no. Heffalump, apologetically. I must have got it wrong then. Piglet, I'm afraid so. Politely, I'm sorry. He goes on humming. Heffalump, well, I suppose I'd be better getting back then. Piglet, looking around carelessly. Oh, must you? Well, if you see Christopher Robin anywhere, you might tell him that I want him. Heffalump, eager to please. Certainly, he hurries off. Pooh, who wasn't going to be there, but we now find that we can't do without him. Oh, Piglet, how brave and clever you are. Piglet, modestly. Not at all, Pooh. And then, when Christopher Robins comes, Pooh can tell him all about him. That was great. I like that scene. That was fun to do. While Piglet was dreaming his happy dream and Pooh was wondering again whether it was 14 or 15, the search for Small was still going on all over the forest. Small's name was really Very Small Beetle, but he was just called Small for short when spoken to at all, which hardly ever happened, except when somebody said, "Really small?" He had been staying with Christopher Robin for a few seconds, and he started going round a gorse bush for exercise, but instead of going back the other way as expected, he hadn't, so nobody knew where he was. "I expect he's just gone home," said Christopher Robin to Rabbit. "Didn't he say goodbye and thank you for a nice time?" said Rabbit. "He's only just said how do you do," said Christopher Robin. "Ha!" said Rabbit. After thinking a little, he went on. Has he written a letter saying how much he enjoyed himself and how sorry he was he had to go so suddenly? Christopher Robin didn't think he had. "Ha!" said Rabbit again, and he looked very important. "This is serious. He is lost. We must begin the search at once." Christopher Robin, who was thinking of something else, said, "Where's Pooh?" But Rabbit was gone. So he went into his house and he drew a picture of Pooh on a long walk at about 7 o'clock in the morning. And then he climbed up to the top of a tree and then climbed down again. And then he wondered where Pooh was and what he was doing. And he went across the forest to see. It wasn't long before he came to a gravel pit and he looked down. And there was Pooh and Piglet with their backs to him, dreaming happily. Ho ho! Said Christopher Robin loudly and suddenly. Piglet jumped 6 inches into the air with surprise and anxiety, but Pooh went on dreaming. It's the Heffalump, thought Piglet nervously. Now then, he hummed in his throat a little so that none of the words should stick, and then said in the most delightfully easy way, tra-la-la, la-la-la, as if he'd just thought of it. But he didn't look round, because if you look round and see a very fierce Heffalump looking down at you, sometimes you forget what you're going to say. Rum-tum-tiddle-dum, said Christopher Robin in a voice like Pooh's, because Pooh had once invented a song that went tra-la-la, tra-la-la, rum-tum-tiddly-um. So whenever Christopher Robin sings it, he always sings it in a Pooh voice, which seems to suit it better. He said the wrong thing, thought Piglet anxiously. He ought to have said, ho-ho! Again. Perhaps I had better say it to him. And as fiercely as he could, Piglet said, ho-ho! How did you get there, Piglet? Said Christopher Robin in his ordinary voice. This is terrible, thought Piglet. First he talks in Pooh's voice, and then he talks in Christopher Robin's voice, and he's doing it as to unsettle me. And now, being completely unsettled, he said very quickly and squeakily, this is a trap for Poohs, and I'm waiting to fall in, and ho-ho-ho, what's all this? And then I say, ho-ho again. What? Said Christopher Robin. A trap for ho-hos, said Piglet huskily. I just made it, and I'm waiting for the ho-ho to come. How long Piglet would have gone on like this, I do not know. But at that moment, Pooh woke up suddenly and decided it was 16. So he got up and he turned his head as to smooth himself in that awkward place in the middle of your back where something was tickling him, and he saw Christopher Robin. Hello, he shouted joyfully. Hello, Pooh. Piglet looked up and looked away again. He felt so foolish and uncomfortable that he almost decided to run away to sea and be a sailor. When suddenly he saw something. Pooh! He cried. There's something climbing on your back. I thought there was, said Pooh. It's Small. Oh, that's who it is, said Pooh. Christopher Robin, I found Small, cried Piglet. Well done, Piglet, said Christopher Robin. And at these encouraging words, Piglet felt quite happy again and decided not to be a sailor after all. So when Christopher Robin had helped him out of the gravel pit, they went off hand in hand. 2 days later, Rabbit happened to meet Eeyore in the forest. Hello, Eeyore. What are you looking for? Small, of course, said Eeyore. Haven't you any brain? Oh, but didn't I tell you, said Rabbit. Small was found 2 days ago. There was a moment's silence. Ha, said Eeyore bitterly. Merriment and whatnot. Don't apologise. It's just what would happen. Oh, what a great story! Weird ending though, but it's ended nonetheless. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I love that. I love Pooh Bear. I hope you liked it very much. We'll do another one next week. It will be chapter 4. In the meantime, go out and enjoy the sun and have some pink lemonade. That'll be great. Lots of love, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Ta-ra!